Hey everybody, it's Aaron from Maroon 68 here with another Bible review. This is something for those who, if you've been through seminary and have studied Greek and you're looking to polish those skills that you've been given, or even try to maintain them, and keeping your vocabulary and just getting into the text to read it. And so this is a review of the UBS Greek New Testament Reader. This is one of those tools that can help you keep and maintain your Greek language skills, your translation skills, your interpretive skills, and basically just keep your vocabulary up by getting into the text. We're going to take a closer look at this, compare it to some others that came before it, to see how they influenced and helped out. And so this is going to be what we're looking at, the Greek New Testament Reader Edition. Be right back. Here we go. Let's go for it. Okay, so the UBS Greek New Testament Reader's Edition. What is it about this that makes this unique and sets it apart from other Greek New Testaments? Well, to begin with, you have to go back and look at what brought this one about and what caused UBS to put one out. And to do that, you have to go back to the Zondervan New Testament Greek Reader. Now, there are some differences between these two. What are they? Well, this is a 2003 edition. They've since come out with a later edition, a newer edition that's changed it a little bit. The thing that makes the reader unique is that it has the vocabulary for words that don't occur more than 30 times in the New Testament down below. So that if you come across a word that you're not familiar with, it gives a footnote. See if I can zoom in here. For example, in the bold print, you see 106. If you go down to the bottom of the page and look for the footnote for 106, there it is, and it gives you that word. And that's about it. So there's not a whole lot that's really helpful as far as parsing goes, but it does give a lot of help and a lot of aid in reading the New Testament, because that's what you want to do. You want to be able to get into the New Testament and read it and see from the Greek what it's trying to say and convey within the context. And also to keep your vocabulary skills up, your translation skills. It just makes things a whole lot easier. Now, the difference in this, one of the major differences, the first thing somebody does when they pick it up is, who's a Greek student, goes, wow, this is thin. It's in a faux leather binding. It's flexible. I can roll it up. I can carry it to class. It fits in my book bag really easy. And if you carry the UBS New Testament, they're normally about that much thicker. Now, they are smaller, naturally, but they're a whole lot thicker. Now, they do carry a dictionary in the back. These became incredibly popular. This is the Greek text that the New International Version is based off of. So that's a little bit of a difference there, but nothing that's going to cause any kind of heresy or anything like that. Now, as you can see, it's the only difficulty and the criticism that this particular one has, or has had, is that if you're reading along, and you come across a word that says, for example, here's one that's got a Thomas 31. And then you have to go down and you have to search through the lines. There it is, Thomas, there it is. Okay? And you have to find it and hunt and peck. There's no dictionary in the back. There's nothing. Now, they may have changed this in later editions. They've got maps in them possibly now. They've become very, very popular with students in Greek classes. Now, because of that popularity, and that they came out with a Greek, and they've even come out with a Hebrew version of the reader. It's faux leather binding. It's thicker, of course. It has Hebrew words in it, just like same format as the New Testament Greek. Because this was so popular, UBS had to respond. They had to come out with something to counter and to hit that market. And so what they did was they came out with the UBS Greek New Testament. Now, there's going to be some differences, and you'll see those right off. First off, it's a hardbound. It's a hardbound red book. It's way thick, as you can see and compare. There's quite a bit of thickness difference there, almost double. And for that reason, some really don't care for carrying it necessarily to class, whereas they would carry something like this, or just a regular UBS New Testament Greek. The differences. Well, let's get into the insides, because this is where it really starts to shine and set itself apart. For example, we'll find a passage here. As you're reading, first thing you notice is that it has all the references in columns down at the bottom. That's a little bit of a difference because it makes it a whole lot easier to find. For example, looking at, let's find a word here. Eklausin. It's got a 9 reference. You look down. 9. Clio. It gives not just the word, but it also gives some of the parsing for the vocabulary. And weep. All right. You can see it also has now on the nouns. It does not give the parsing. It'll give it a masculine or feminine. But for the verbs, it does give a brief parsing. Now, would I stake my translation life on that? I would have to go back and look at my own books. I'd want to check myself and make sure. But these parsings do give a little bit of help when you're translating, so you know, okay, well, that word's in a wholly different form. It's in a middle form, or it's in a whatever. That's why it looks different. Okay, and it also has prepositions if they're not very familiar, and particularly if, for example, in this one, anti, it's a preposition with plus a genitive, because, and it gives the reason for it. Now that's a little bit of a difference between the two. There are some other marked differences. If you look at the text and the font of the print, it's a little bit different. The font with the UBS, it's a little bit more of a cursive style. It's a little bit more, it's difficult to read. It just seems to kind of bleed through the page. The paper's thinner. The font is a little bit lighter. Now, I understand that in some of the newer editions, they have darkened the font and changed that typeset a little bit to be a little bit more bold. But that is a little bit frustrating, a little bit different. You have to get your eyes used to it. Whereas with the UBS, it's a little bit clearer font to me. Of course, this may just be personal taste. Again, your mileage may vary. But the font typeset is a whole lot easier. The paper is just a little bit thicker, to where it's not as... they had to go with the thinner paper in the Zondervan in order to get the thinness down. But also, just the readability is easier. Now, one other thing that this has, that the UBS reader has, that the other one doesn't, of course, it's got the maps in the back, but it also has a small dictionary. I'll get there here shortly. Okay, you can see some of the words, not all of the words. It's not a thorough dictionary, but for many of the words you can't find within the set, they put them in a dictionary in the back. And so you can look just the same as your regular UBS text that you have for your Greek class. You've got that in the back as a reference. Okay, and they also have, of course, the advertisements and all that with the maps. Now, the front matter is not very much at all, other than just the introduction by Barclay Newman, and preface, and then acknowledgments and basic abbreviations. And then it goes right into the text. It's not like your typical Greek text, UBS Greek text, what you took for class, that had all of that front matter in it, that has all of the textual critical matter. But this is one of those tools. Again, if I given a choice, I want to read this one because it's a little bit, to me, it's a little bit easier. It's a little bit to read and to handle with. But if I'm going to look to carry something to class, I would definitely consider this one. This has changed how some professors have had to teach in class. Why? Because if a student brings one of these, buys one of these, for example, a UBS text or a Zondervan text, and carries them to class to take tests, guess what? He's got the hard words down at the bottom of the page that he can refer to. And so they've had to kind of adapt a little bit. It includes, they also had to do that with the software, BibleWorks, Logos, and all those softwares that change the way things happen. You use the tools that you have. But this is a little bit of just a run through. Again, there are some differences. You've got the yellow marker, you've got gold edging. It depends on what you're looking for and what you want. So, till next time, this is Aaron 68. God bless, and get into His Word.